Hello and welcome to Raw World Address. Today is a how-to on starting, beginning, forming, running clubs and committees. This is an open source resource, a pay what you can resource. However, I did put a price tag on it, $3.33. If you can, if you would, please do. Donate via Venmo, PayPal. The information for donations is in the description box and also available on Raw World Address Instagram and many other platforms online. What I provide on these feeds is something that I hope that you can be fed by, that can fuel and empower your future moves or inspire you. Keeping that in mind, we're just going to do a quick blessing like we would some food. Bless this food that we're about to receive. May it nourish and strengthen us. Amen. Ashe. Yes. Short and sweet. Painless. Yes. Let's begin. You will need to decide the nature of your club or committee. I'm not going to guide you on that part, except keep it simple. What are your interests? What cause do you want to activate for? Those should be the general guidelines propelling what you want to do. I mean, you may already have an idea of what you want to do. What I find like people come to me for, and when they're complaining about why their clubs aren't running, is that they have a lack of attendance or not enough people showed up, and they feel defeated by that. You just need the right gasoline, the right structure to form and run these groups. And if you're an egomaniac, I'm going to tell you right now that that's not the way to go. You want to work with people. You want to do something with people. The ego is really not going to stand the test of time when it comes to clubs and committees. Let's define and differentiate the difference between clubs and committees for starters. Clubs are activity-oriented. Clubs are an association or organization dedicated to a particular interest or activity. That's defined by Google search. Committees are action-oriented. Committees are a group of people appointed for a specific function, typically consisting of members of a larger group. Clubs and committees, they often have an outline, guidelines, policies that regulate the members, especially how the members treat each other. The policies can even include how many members the club or committee can contain. We're going to use a few case studies as we proceed. So for example, por ejemplo, if you speak Spanish, I'm going to use these two examples, Fight Club and a vegan committee. In the Fight Club, it might be that members got to show up on time, no shirt or shoes while fighting, no objects, just bare knuckles. What happens in Fight Club stays in Fight Club, if you saw the movie. The vegan committee, I think their goal would be more oriented towards bringing the idea of vegan eating to a larger audience. So they might meet once a week and have outlines about what they want to do. Each member might bring something to the table, like a recipe or a recent article that they can unpack and decipher and figure out how they're going to disseminate to a larger audience. You need these outlines because people in your club need to know what the heck is going to be going on. They want to know that you're going to be consistent, and they want to see results. People want to show up, and they want to have a good time, most likely, but they really want to see results, and they want to experience the fun that's going to happen, or they want to see the expansion of the idea that they came to, expand upon and educate others on. Let's chat operations, free or fee. Some clubs are free. They're free to join, free to leave, free to try, no obligation. Some charge at entry, like dance clubs charging $5 at the door. Some committees charge dues or monthly fees to their members to offset costs of trademarking the name of the club or administrative options or member perks. For example, in the case of the Fight Club, dues could maybe be used to supply first aid kits to the members, or in the case of the vegan committee, printing posters to put up and support campaigns for vegan eating. If your club is going to have dues and fees, listen, I highly recommend that you be transparent about where that money is going, what is coming in, what is coming out, how you're going to report that to your members. You're going to have to figure out. But people are not playing with their money these days. We're not playing around with the mismanagement of funds. I do not recommend keeping a log of it in your head. Keep a spreadsheet if you can. There are many applications that you can use like Notion or Google Docs, Sheets, or whatever. Keep a sheet of the ins and outs, the dates when things are happening, who's paying, who ain't paying, you know? You can also do a book, like a log book. I think for me, sometimes the physical books are a lot easier. You can just jot down daily, when people come in, what they paid, did they show up with their dues that day, and then have a day that dues are due. Like really have a day and maybe give a grace period, but like on the first day of the month and 5 days after, kind of keep people on point. If they're invested in being part of the group. And that can be your ticket too, to telling people, whether they're in or out of the club. It's like, did you pay? Did you ain't pay? You know what I'm saying? Don't be lenient on that. Don't cut any breaks on that. If you're going to set dues, set the dues and let the dues be the dues. Do not play favorites. Don't be out here having Joe Schmo not pay and Betty Sue always pay. And if your members find out from each other that one person's not paying and other people are paying, it's not going to work. People are going to have their feathers ruffled. Pause. Let's take a moment to inhale and exhale. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you absorbing this information? Or are you just listening to me talk? Are you zoning out? Just take a break. Go get a coffee, get some water or something. And come back in a second. I'll wait. That's a beautiful thing about these digital platforms. You can just pause it. Come back. Do your thing. No need to rush. All the time in the world. Alright, let's get back to it. So you may be thinking to yourself, well, dang, this is more than I bargained for. I don't know if I want to do all of this. Well, you thought you were going to do this alone? I wouldn't dare. I would not even suggest it. Organization of members is vital. Many people are just not born leaders, listen, and that's alright. But just people are not all born leaders, okay? Clubs and committees benefit from some leadership positions. They're called chairs. A chair is something of a president, a co-chair, vice president. A financial fundraising chair, well, that would be the person who's keeping track of the dues and the fees and reporting unpaid fees, etc. An event chair, this person might be in charge of securing locations for where you're going to meet up, if it's like something you have to do at a venue. They might even be the host or the owner of the venue in which things happen. A secretary, this person would write up notes on every meeting or log that meetings happened, like how many new members joined that month or who left that month, or did the vegan committee convert some meat eaters to veganites. I think clubs and committees that have staying power, that are really going strong and going long, have more than one invested individual partaking in the planning and like the running of the club. So you might have 50 members, but 10 of those members are doing work towards keeping things going. You feel me? By the way, there's a crazy windstorm, rainstorm happening in my neck of the woods. That's, if you hear some wind whipping, that's what that is. It's not like I'm in some turbo drive spaceship. But planet Earth is technically a spaceship. Anywho, your first club or committee meeting might be really, really small and might only be to talk about everyone's role in the club or committee. And you can have people volunteer their time for these positions and have members vote for who they think is right, or you can have people put their names in a pot for what they feel that they want to do and just pull the name out of a hat. And you want people who are going to be reliable, and if they sign up, then let them know that they got to be reliable. Hopefully, depending on the nature of your club, by your first or second meeting, or after you run through all the middle of this, you should be able to just get into the activity that you're doing, that you'll want to do, have the fun, or, start making the efforts and the progress that you want to do. Now, there are some typos, by the way, in these PDFs. They're not perfect, but it's open source, so we're going to let it fly, right? I'm going to let it fly. The last thing that I want to address is the why. Why? Why are you doing the club? Is it just for fun? That's cool. Or is it to help people fight better, in the case of the Fight Club? Or to spread education about being vegan? You really just want to write a concise ethos for your club and your members that will keep everyone on track. If you start a boxing club and then next week you show up with some gloves that are for gardening, people are going to be very confused. So keep it straightforward, keep it to one thing. Okay, it's great for networking. It's great for meeting new people. It's wonderful for boosting your business because you can do that while you're at the club. If it were a dance club, it's the same sort of thing. When you show up, there's a group of people who you may not have met before, and you can just finesse and talk and, all that thing. So, I hope that this information has been helpful to you. I hope that you really got something out of this. And if you did, and if you download these PDFs, please do, if you can, $3.33. All right, bless y'all. Peace.